with Sherry is a bariatric podcast talking about weight loss surgery. I am not a licensed professional. Any views and or opinions expressed in the show are those of the speakers and do not reflect the bariatric community as a whole. Always reach out to a professional with any medical issues you are experiencing. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unzipped with Sherry, with yours truly. As always, I am Sherry. I'm very excited for this week because we have a very special guest. You've already had him on the show a few weeks ago. His name is Mike. He has an amazing story. His show was very well received because he was very about mindset and positivity and overcoming obstacles, and people just resonated so much with him that we didn't want to wait before we brought him back. And Mike now knows this. I've brought him in the loop, but I kind of had an idea like literally minutes before the show, so we kind of changed the entire format, and we're going to do things a little bit differently today. But as always, we want you guys to ask questions, be engaging. If there's anything that you want to know about Mike or myself, let us know in the comments. We'll get to everything as much as we can. And on that note, Mike, I hope you're ready because we're about to get unzipped. We all have a story on how we got here, right? So for me, I used to be over 350 pounds until one day I made the single decision that I wanted change. Weight loss surgery has saved my life, and now I am here for you. I want to hear your story.
You know, the one that happened during that before and after picture?
It's time to unzip.
What's your story?
Hello, my love. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. First and foremost, I don't know, there's something about your milkshake because it always brings the berries to the yard. We got a bunch of people watching right now, so hello.
Perfect. What's going on, everybody?
Before we start anything, I did want to give a special shout out for today's episode. We're going to dedicate it to Craig, who is currently in the hospital dealing with some stuff right now. And what better way to help give him positive vibes than to pump him full of positive mentality and mindset and well wishes. On that note, thank you so much for coming today.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me up again so soon. It's like
I was looking
forward to this so much already.
I love it. Good answer. I like it when you suck up to the host too. It makes me feel better.
Right.
So, as I was just telling you guys, actually, Charlie, there's more people watching because we're on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and a bunch of places. With that being said, literally minutes before the show, Mike and I were talking, and I kind of had an idea that I kind of wanted to do things differently. And I felt like being in the bariatric community, all of these years out for me, and Mike's been in it for about 6 months or so, we've noticed that there's a lot of reoccurring themes among the bariatric community. There's a lot of the same questions being asked on a regular basis. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to take some of the most frequently asked questions or concerns post-bariatric and kind of see if we can put Mike in the hot seat and see how he would answer it with his normal positive mindset and mentality, and maybe give people an idea on if they're ever approached with these situations, how they might handle it. So I didn't really
pressure at all.
I didn't really give Mike a heads up. I just thought of all people, this would be a fun experiment to do. Because people on social media, people really do resonate with what you have, and you have a really good positive attitude. You are able to find the positive in anything. Who is this Charlie guy? I don't know. Is this like our first troll on social media? I'm loving it.
This could be our first troll, but you know what? When it comes to negative comments, there's always a lot more going on behind the scenes for everyone watching and everyone typing. So
I agree 1,000%. You know what? Yeah. Challenge accepted. I like a good challenge. So, which actually we can start in with this. One of the things that you and I had talked about previously is how there's a positive and a negative effect on people when it comes to social media, especially in the bariatric community, because I feel like people who've suffered from obesity their entire lives had a lot of emotional issues and not feeling wanted or being included. And I think there's a lot of sensitive people. So But at the same time, they're also the biggest cheerleaders for people too. So I think that
Yeah.
there's like, you can see both sides of the spectrum. So I'm just curious on your personal opinions on social media and the impact that it has to people in the bariatric community.
So like when I think of social media 10 months ago, my mindset of social media 10 months ago was literally focused on it was my escape. It's where I went to find community and to have conversations and to meet people, because in person I didn't have many friends. My social group was pretty small. You know, I look at, Chris Dowling in the comments. I work with him. He works with me. Like, I met amazing coworkers, but like as
Mm-hmm.
far as finding people to hang out with and spend time with, social media was kind of my place where I could be whoever I wanted to be and meet new people. And um, now social media is home. It's where my family is. It's where my support system is. But just because I view social media that way doesn't mean that there's good days and bad days. You know, you spend time watching social media and scrolling through videos and talking to people, it can hit you very quickly one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
One, positive and motivational, where you're seeing something that inspires you to make change and to try harder and to keep pushing forward and never give up. And then there's the other side where you're like, I haven't done that. I can't do that. This hasn't happened to me. Am I doing something wrong? Am I broken? What's wrong? Oh, now there's all these negative impacting thoughts that are affecting your mindset. So social media is literally a fence, and you're walking on that fence every day, all day when you're on social media. It's just trying to decide which side you want to fall down on.
It's true. And I do feel like everything's for a reason. So I don't know. I feel like this is an NSV for the show, that we're growing enough that we've welcomed our first troll into it. So I don't know, like for some reason, like it kind of makes me excited. It's like, how do you handle that? And this is a perfect segue to how often on social media, especially the more that you grow, you can have 1,000 followers who all love you and give you amazing
Yeah.
support. You can have people watching the show right now. And if you look at the comments, there's a lot of amazing support. But why is it we as people as a whole will fixate on the one or two negative comments of somebody? And I'm just curious, from your perspective, people who are fixated on those negative comments or the negative people, what advice can we give them to not focus on it?
When you see a negative comment on social media that you fixate on, there's usually a reason why. And it's because you have been seeing that comment your entire life. You've been focusing on the negative your entire life. And the one thing you need to change is how you view your comment list and how you view the script. You know what? Before I had weight loss surgery and before I got into social media and before I changed my life, I had 30 negative comments. Now I have 29 positive and one negative.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I wasting my time on the one and neglecting the 29 things that are going to lift me up? So my honest opinion is, if you have a video or a social media post that has 50-50 split, go through, delete the negative comments, because that's not you anymore. You want to
Right.
push forward in the right direction and focus solely and independently on the things that are going to build you up and lift you up and help you grow and help you change, versus the things that make you feel like you're still trapped behind the door and can't get out, and you're lost. You're back to where you
Mm-hmm.
started.
I love how Missy brings up a really good point, and I'm a firm believer of this, that we cannot control the hateful comments. We cannot control the opinions or words of others. However, we can control how we choose to react to it and how we let it affect us. So I freaking love Missy. She was on a couple of weeks ago, and she's going to come back again. She just doesn't know yet.
Oh,
Um,
she knows. I told her she had to because
oh,
we
does
had
she?
lunch
Okay.
together today. Yes.
I know. I'm so jealous that you guys had lunch together without me. I didn't get a FaceTime or any kind of acknowledgement that I existed during your meeting with the two of you, but it's fine. Like, I got over it. Um,
we talked we talked about you a lot during lunch.
I was gonna say hashtag not bitter. Okay, go on. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we're gonna play a game. It's called Let's Put Mike in the Hot Seat and let's give him some situational ideas and see how he navigates through it. Mike, I only lost 25 pounds in 3 months. What am I doing wrong?
The biggest thing you're doing wrong is focusing on the number. You're
Oh,
focusing on the fact that you've only lost 25 pounds. Have you taken your measurements? Have you done self reflection on the things that you're able to do now that you've lost 25 pounds? Have you focused on your routine that you've been creating and how you need to grow it and change it? As you shrink, your routines need to grow and change. So, say you've only lost 25 pounds and you've stalled and you're not sure why you stopped and why you're not losing any more. There's nothing wrong with you. Time tells all. Your body's constantly changing, your
mm-hmm.
hormones are changing, your stomach is changing. You Patience is going to be key, but self-reflection is going to save your life because you need to focus on the fact that, my God, it's been 3 months. I'm already down 25 pounds.
Right.
I could not have lost 25 pounds before. So there's nothing wrong with me. I'm in the right direction, but my expectations are on the wrong subject.
Right. And just to piggyback off of that too, I would tell people track everything that you're eating because sometimes you don't realize it. Also, be in contact with your doctor because, like you said, a hormone level can be off, vitamins can be off. Are you drinking enough water? Are you flushing out enough toxins? Are you getting any? There's so many factors that I think the first step that you do is document everything you're doing for a couple of days, every single thing, and then you can make tweaks as necessary, some small changes, and see if that helps.
Yep.
All right, question 1 done. I'm proud of you. Um, Mike, you promote that you can have moderation, but I can't have moderation. Why would you promote something knowing that there's people who can't do that?
Moderation is in the eyes of the beholder. So
Oh.
what I consider moderation for me, a 31-year-old 6'1" male, might not be moderation for someone who is 5'4" and 60 years old. So that's where I would start. Moderation is in the eyes of the beholder, and if I'm being direct, making excuses is what limits you from being able to do moderation. The only thing that is going to stop you from moderating your life and eating in moderation or snacking in moderation is your mindset telling you that you can't do it. You can do anything that you focus on. You can try anything once. You can try anything twice. If you don't want to stick with it, that's going to be your personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
I do things in moderation and I preach moderation because I have spent months now focusing and trial and error, learning how to moderate what I'm eating and how I'm eating and the amount that I'm putting on my plate and how much I'm cooking and how many meals that's going to last me. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes experience. If you're not getting there now, you will. It just takes time. And you need to think, how can I change to moderate my life better and
Right.
to eat in moderation and to snack moderately? What do I need to do to find a system that works for me? Because everyone's different.
And I also agree that moderation, your ability to have moderation is going to change over time. I agree. In the very beginning, I was very strict. This was my last option. Nothing else was working. You and I have related on this. We've done the juicing fast. We've done what was required of us. The stuff wasn't working. So for me, I didn't want anything to jinx it. I was not going to throw any monkey wrench into it. So I was legit like militant about my diet and regimen. So the idea of eating a single cookie or anything was off the table because I knew at that time that was a slippery slope and I felt like I wouldn't be able to control myself. But I feel like over time, as you change your relationship with food and your relationship to emotional components attached to food, your moderation levels are going to change. Now, even now, we just finished Girl Scout cookies season. We had Girl Scout cookies in here. I didn't deprive myself. I enjoyed it. And there was a couple of days where I might have had a couple extra cookies and I didn't regret it. But it was one of those things that once it was done, it was done. And I didn't go out and buy more. I knew that I can control myself. And I appreciate it for what it was. I said, this is my one little luxury once a year. I have a couple of the Samoas or the little Thin Mints. And that's okay for me. But I understand that some people are not there yet mentally, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and the worst thing you can do when you're trying to look at somebody else and saying like, well, you're able to eat 3 or 4 Girl Guide cookies, but if I did that, I would gain 2 pounds and I would feel sick. Well, the worst thing you can do is compare yourself and your journey and what's working for you and what doesn't work for you with somebody else, because we're
Right.
so different in so many different ways. Like myself, I'm at the gym training 5, 6 days a week. So if I've had times where I've sat there and I've had, 2 or 3 of the Cadbury cream eggs and just crushed them and didn't really understand why it didn't affect me, versus I know others that have that much sugar and that many calories at once. They'll be sick for hours or sick for days. My body's different than yours. My
Mm-hmm.
routine's different than yours. And you just need to focus on what's working for you, and you'll build that moderation up in time.
Absolutely. Um, this is actually an interesting scenario, but I've heard it on more than one occasion over the years. I'm at a family function and no one has acknowledged my weight loss. I like putting you in the hot seat.
Yeah. So there's a few different ways that I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to talk about this for a second. So, me, myself, personally,
Yes.
I look in the mirror and I can see the change now. I'm at the point, I'm almost 9 months out. I can see the change. I can feel the change. I can look at pictures and myself in the mirror and genuinely, positively reflect on how far I've come and how amazing I'm doing in my own eyes, which has taken a lot of time to get there. If my family that I haven't seen in months or years at a family event don't acknowledge it, I'm okay with that, because I've acknowledged it, and the only person that needs to acknowledge and accept it is me. But if I'm 2 months ago, I wasn't there. I'd look
Right.
in the mirror and I'd be like, who is this person? I didn't see that as me. I didn't realize the change. I think of the cartoons where the young lion cub looks in the puddle of water and sees himself as this adult
Mm-hmm.
big lion of fierce capabilities. I was the opposite. I looked in the mirror and I saw the almost 400-pound version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if my family didn't acknowledge me 2 months ago, my mindset would be, they don't see it either. I am failing. I must be doing something wrong. Maybe this
Mm-hmm.
isn't working. Maybe this isn't the right thing for me. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because I'm not getting the gas pumping acknowledgement that I was hoping to get from my family. So I think there's so many thin gray lines and impacting factors, and how big your family is, what your background, what religion, how close you are with family,
Right.
how, what kind of emotional connection. Some people have parents and siblings that, yeah, you love each other, but you don't talk, or, you don't really talk because you hate each other, or you talk every single day, all day, because you're family and you like to keep in touch.
Right.
There's going to be so many factors that change that. Um, I would just tell people, you need to work as hard as you can to focus on acknowledging that yourself to yourself, because everything else isn't going to matter as much as when you start loving yourself again.
Right. And I agree with that. And I think something for people to consider too, sometimes there's a reason people are not saying anything. One is they might not know how to say it, or they don't want to come off the wrong way, or like sometimes they were not addressing your weight when you're at your heaviest. So if they're addressing your weight now, that might make them come off as a weird weight. So there might be a lot of other factors, excuse me, why people might not be responding that the way that you want. I've also
Yeah.
had people, I don't want to say that's a backhanded comment because I don't think that they mean it intentionally, but sometimes their compliments about your weight loss come off as like kind of rude. And you're like, I'd kind of rather you've just not addressed it at all, because now you're creating this elephant in the room that didn't have to be there in the attempt that you thought it was nice to try to give a compliment. But
Yep. Everyone's gonna have that grandparent or distant uncle that's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you look so good now,"
Right.
or
Uh,
"You finally look healthy." I was like,
my
"Well,
my
that
grand
just
it's like my grandma, and I love her. She was my best friend, but she was like, "Honey, I can tell you've lost weight because you've lost the bloat in your face." And I'm like, I didn't realize my face was bloated, but I know that she didn't mean it in a derogatory way or anything. That was just apparently she saw my face as bloated and didn't say anything. So she meant it as a compliment, but I was like, I'd rather you have just not said anything. That would have been fine too.
love shows itself in so many different
I
ways."
know it's so bad. Um, oh, what's another good one? Oh, here's a good one.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
I think that you probably get it every single day. I get it all the time. I am 5 months out and I'm stalled. What's wrong? Why is it not working? I think my sleeve is broken.
5 months out, you've stalled. You're
Mm-hmm.
right on track. Stalling Stalling is normal. Stalling should be an expectation because your body is changing, your hormones are changing. I know we already covered this in a previous question, but like
Mm-hmm.
as your body changes, it's going to go through a state of shock and it's going to try and dump weight and get rid of weight and trying to process everything you're
Mm-hmm.
eating. And then your body's going to be like, okay, I'm comfy now. I need I need 5 to 10 days. Okay, Mike. I need 5, 10 days, maybe a few weeks to kind of just regulate, get my shit together, and then we'll do this again. So if you're stalling at 3 months, at 5 months, at 10 months, um, you need to stop looking at it as a bad thing. You need to give it time, and you need to have that genuine understanding that a stall is expected. It's normal, and if it does last 5, 6, 10 months, you need to flip the script a little bit and be like, when was the last time in my life that I went 10 months without losing or gaining a pound?
Mm-hmm.
I've achieved consistency with my health and my weight for the first time, and it's lasting longer than it ever did. So, how you approach that stall, verbally, mentally, emotionally, and physically, is going to determine your mindset and your positivity and your motivations to keep going. Um, and I would tell people, listen, I stalled at 5 months for 6 weeks. I've been stalled now at 9 months for 2 months. My weight hasn't changed for
Mm-hmm.
maybe a pound up or a pound down here or there
But
for like
nothing
over
like
over
major.
2 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's all I've ever wanted. I've
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be able to say, "Oh, I can stall. This is amazing. I don't need
Right.
to worry about like a stall is like, thank you. I am stalling. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
I can do something I've never been able to do before. Maintain a weight."
Yes. And I think it's important for people to remember if you have weight loss surgery or any new program, even if this is not bariatric related, if you've done any new program, you're going to get results in the beginning. Why? You just put your body through shock, whether it's a low
Yeah.
cal or a keto or whatever the regimen is. You're literally putting your body through shock. Your body is going through fight or flight. It goes, I don't know what's happening because the routine has been mixed up so drastically. So you're going to start losing weight. And as if you're doing a keto or a bariatric or whatever, after a while, if you're doing the same thing for a routine, your body will realize, okay, it's not under attack anymore. I can kind of relax a little bit. Now we're in maintaining mode. It's not having you gain or lose. It's just everything is copacetic now. So then what happens is you just got to give a little shock. If that means go on a little extra walk, increase your protein a little, sometimes very subtle changes, your body's got to be like, oh my God, what's happening? We like, mayday, mayday. And it's going to start, jump starting the process again. And that's all it
Yeah.
is that your body just gets used to everything that you're doing. And then it's going to chill the fuck out for a bit.
Right. And it's just like I've never worked out a day in my life and my weight hasn't changed a day in my life. And then you go from doing nothing to working out. That's going to shock your body. And then you're
Mm-hmm.
losing weight. And then you'll stall again because your body's like, hey, I'm used to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the energy that I need and what I can burn and what I can store to maintain where I am right now. And then you go from, say, your exercise was light jogging. And then you go right into high intensity interval training. guess what? You've shocked your system again, and you're going to continue to lose because your body needs to literally regulate itself
Mm-hmm.
based on your activity level, your sleep, your caloric intake, your hydration, your protein levels, your vitamin, nutrient, mineral levels. So
Absolutely.
change is good, stalling is good because it gives you a chance to reflect and regulate your body.
Absolutely. And I agree with Kim, who says it's a whole different mindset. And then Misty says changing up eating routine or add in different foods, trying a new activity. There's always something new to try. And I agree. It's always about trying something new in what works for you to kind of shift it. Oh, I love that. Marcy said it's amazing how much you have achieved. Congratulations.
So Marcia is actually a good friend of mine that I met in Mexico. And
Nice.
yeah, I was actually telling about you, telling
This is the one
you
you're
about her
talking
the other day.
about.
Yeah, her daughter had weight loss surgery and is going to be joining the community. And honestly, like they were so kind and loving and like wanted to hear my story. And I was able to talk and share and motivate so far. And I'm glad you're here, Marcia. If you have any questions, drop them in because
Absolutely.
I'm me and Sherry, we're here for you.
We got you. And I'm just putting Mike in the hot seat right now and I'm asking him a bunch of questions and I get to take a back seat and just enjoy watching him squirm. So if you guys have
Yeah,
questions that you want to put him in the hot seat, it's making my day much better right now.
yeah.
So I love it.
Thanks, Sherry.
Oh, I got a good one for you. Mike, I have seen in
Yes.
your videos that you've gone across the border and you've bought protein shakes. I was told you should not be drinking protein shakes. You should not be doing that because that's what I was told.
Well, you're right. This is a good one,
I saw your answer in your face just now.
right? How do I be polite about this? Let's just say this. If you depend on everyone else around you to do the research and make choices for you, then you are losing the control that you've been fighting to achieve for your entire life. I go across the border and I stay on my side of the border to get protein shakes and protein yogurts and protein bars and supplements and snacks that I can't get here because I've done my research. I know what works for my body, what tastes good to me, what supplements and products affect my body positively. And I don't listen to a lot of other people. I listen to my body, how I feel when I'm consuming these products. And I've already said this already, trial and error. You're going to try protein shakes and protein bars and supplements and products from all over the world that are going to work so good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And others that are going to literally make you feel horrible. At the end of the day, don't listen to what people are telling you should or should not do. Do the research for yourself because just because it didn't work for them and they feel the genuine need to tell you that you shouldn't be doing that because it didn't do good for me
Right.
shouldn't be enough for you to change your whole entire mindset and your life trying to achieve their status because you're in this for yourself. You're doing
Right.
this for nobody else but you. So if you want to go across the border and you want to try something new or try this protein shake, but Dave from next door said don't do it. Tell Dave politely, I've done my research. I want to try this. Just it didn't work for you. I'll enjoy it. And if I don't,
Right.
then maybe we'll talk about it next time we're over having a drink.
And what we have to understand too is that all of our journeys are different, not in just like our life experiences leading up to it, but our daily life is different. Our routines are different, whether we're married or we have kids and schedules and routines, everything's going to be different. You have to find a way to make this a complete lifestyle change for the rest of your life. So you have to find things that work for you personally to fit in your schedule and your family and your lifestyle that is more ideal. For me personally, I am not a big fan of too many protein shakes or bars, or whatever, only because I get my few bites of food. I'm learning to find creative ways to have food because I enjoy like the food aspect of it, like finding healthier options of stuff. But there's been times where my schedule is so busy that I'm constantly in the car or I'm constantly traveling to different
Yep.
clients that I rely on shakes and protein bars and stuff to get me enough. I've gotten to the point where I've been able to. Oh my god! I just lost my train of thought.
He
Oh, this
got
is
you, didn't he?
he finally did. I'm so above this right now.
Well, then I'll talk for a second. So first of all, thank you, Dad. I appreciate that. My dad's in the chat, and he's actually having his surgery in like less than 2 weeks. Um, so you're proud of me right now, but I just want to say that I'm proud of you on the journey that you've been doing and the steps that
Mhm.
you're taking, and I'm so excited to be able to join there and be there with you. Um, when it comes to Charlie Whiskey, I'm just gonna put this out there in the most polite way. Thank you so much for spending your hard-earned quality time here with us, watching and
Yes,
learning and being part of this, because the fact that this community and conversation is important enough for you to be a part of, I appreciate and respect that.
I appreciate and respect that. I'm irritated that I made it 30 minutes, but that's okay. This is just proof that, there will always be people out there that will try to tear you down. And just like we said at the top of the show, you can fixate on 99 comments that are positive, and then you get a whiskey dude coming in here just blowing shit up. And that's okay. Because you know what? Either he thinks you're really cute or he thinks I'm really cute. I haven't decided which one it is yet, but whatever it is, he's very intrigued right now.
At mcoods on TikTok, Instagram, reach out, shoot me a DM. We'll make
at
it
Barry
work.
at Barry Sherry at TikTok. Come say hello. Come do a live with us. Um, here's okay. This is actually something that I've actually had somebody tell me before. I've had somebody tell me that I am going to leave my husband because I am prettier now and I am more attractive, that I'm going to attract different people, better looking people. So I need to be prepared that I'm going to leave my husband.
So I actually had this exact comment in one of my very first lives, being like, "Hey, Mike, just so you know, you should probably, have a prenup because you're going to lose all this weight and you're going to leave your wife, etc." And all I said was this: if you're going to use bariatric surgery and getting healthy as an excuse to
Mm-hmm.
leave your partner, leave them now, because you already have these predetermined plans of your relationship is negative and bad, and you're already in it for the wrong reasons. Two, if you're going to pursue weight loss surgery for an excuse to leave your partner, then you're not mentally prepared for the journey that you're about to embark on, because you are in this for all of the very, very wrong reasons. Um, at the end of the day, weight loss surgery across the board from everyone that I've met has been able to bring people to a state of happiness, getting to a point where they can love themselves and enjoy their lives again.
Mm-hmm.
And if that so happens to mean that you're going to leave your partner or change your status, or maybe you're single or alone and you're actually going to put yourself out there and try and find somebody, then that's incredible. As long as you're putting yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
everything else will fall in line. Um, I have had people several times being like, "Yep, I'm gonna lose all this weight. I better look for other options
Mm-hmm.
of hotter spouses and hotter, more attractive partners." And I shake my head because I'm like, you're here for the wrong reasons. If
Yeah.
if this is your mindset, then
And it's
you're in the wrong space.
I'll never forget being at a bar and somebody had told me that. And I told him, I said, I've been with my husband for, at the time, I think it was like 8 or 9 years by that point. And I was like, he was with me at my absolute worst, being over 350 pounds, and he was still with me and he still loved me. So he loved me at my worst. Why the hell would he not deserve me at my best? And for Mr. Whiskey Man, my best also includes my flabby skin that I will own proudly. And to answer your lovely comment about cheating, I think that yes, Mike and I and a lot of people in this comments cheated, but we cheated death. We cheated type 2 diabetes. We cheated fatty livers. We cheated high cholesterol. We cheated an early destination to the grave. So, for that, my friend, I am very grateful. to be a cheater.
Damn straight. Honestly, I've cheated on a lot of things throughout my life, and diet and exercise was always something that I cheated on because I skipped. I just didn't do it. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to worry about that. But as most of you know, like, I had fatty liver disease, I had kidney issues, my blood work was off the rails, my liver like function was next to nothing. Um, I was in a position where I was going to be severely diabetic and probably die very, very young. And you know what? Cheating death by having weight loss surgery to get my life back was the best decision of my life. Always has been, always will be, except for marrying my wife, because she has been my support system and my rock. And yeah, you're right. My wife fell in love with me when I was almost my heaviest. When we got married, I was almost at my heaviest. And she has not changed 1 ounce on how she loves me and cares for me and appreciates me throughout my entire journey. So finding the right spouse and the right partner and the right group and support group to surround yourself with is the most important thing.
I love
Thanks,
you, Brett. This is actually an interesting segue. I don't know how often you get this topic or whatever. Over the years, I've come across it a lot. And you have a married couple or you have a couple together. One of them ends up having the surgery and starts losing the weight, and they start getting more active and they start loving themselves. And then all of a sudden, their partner is not doing anything. So one of them is being more active, the other person is not so much. And the person who's now had this new lease on life and is now doing things and being more active is now kind of getting frustrated that their partner is not on the same level as them. And they want to encourage them to be on that level, whether their partner has a weight issue themselves or whatever the case may be. How do you have a conversation with your partner, basically without being a dick, but saying like, I want you to join the train with me. It's not about having surgery, but it's about doing things together and being more active together.
So the I have two answers to this. And my first answer is your partner and your spouse, throughout your relationship, you're always trying to find things that you can do together. And whether it's finding a really good TV show or going hiking together or doing something together, it's really important with family and relationships to have that thing. As to how do you talk to them politely without being a dick about it, my personal opinion, you don't. Because why did we start this journey? We started this journey for ourselves, for our health, for our wellness, for our happiness, for nobody else. We did this because we didn't want to die young. We wanted to be around for our family, our friends, and for those relationships. And I would say the most powerful thing that you could do for your spouse or your partner is to show them through your actions how much happy you are, how much more motivated you are, how limitless you become, how you can do all these things and enjoy all these things that you've never been able to fathom doing yourself. And when your partner and your spouse is ready, they're going to see that and you're going to motivate them and inspire them without even realizing it. And chances are they're going to come to you and be like, that's pretty cool that you can do this, or that's pretty cool that you're enjoying this, or that you're physically able to. I would love to do that with you.
Right.
If it's not their cup of tea, it's not something that they genuinely enjoy or like doing, it may never be. But them being there as your support system doesn't mean they have to do it with you. They have to be there for you. So I'd say you bust your ass, you take care of yourself, you motivate yourself, and let that motivation spread like wildfire. Eventually they'll catch on and they'll either join you or support you that much more.
Yeah. And I agree. I also think it's important to remember that, yes, you are on this journey now and you're very motivated and you're very determined and you're getting the results that you want. But there was a time when you weren't in the right place and you yourself had to be in the right place in order to make any action happen. So yes, even though that you are getting to the destination that you want to lead to, you cannot expect anybody else in your circle is just going to automatically jump on the bandwagon alongside with you. You have to let them be ready with themselves and on their terms that they are ready for change. And so I do think I have seen couples, which will be a little overly preachy with their partner, or they'll be kind of like giving them a hard time. Remember what it was like to be on the other side of that conversation and see how you would feel if somebody was doing that to you, and how that's usually going to make you retract and go further backwards because you don't want to feel embarrassed or insecure or anything. So all you can do, like you said, is be the best version of yourself for you and set that example, and then let other people be inspired by that to be ready to make their own changes. Or one, maybe they're going to see you having all this fun without them and they're going to want to start catching up and doing things. A hot topic in the bariatric. I'm not even looking at the comments anymore. It's fine. Hot topic for the bariatric community. Are you ready?
I guess I have to be.
Straws or no straws?
Suck on that shit all day long. Go ahead, Charlie. I'm feeding you, bud. I'm feeding you. Honestly, I listened to my doctors right after surgery when they recommended to me, don't use a straw right away. Don't use a straw every time. As far as explanations on why, I never really got a solid answer from any professional from my community. I don't use a straw. I use a straw, whatever is more convenient at the time. I haven't found or felt anything different or change, whether I'm using one or not. So, honestly, if you prefer using straws, just use straws. If you don't like using straws, don't use straws. As far as causing drama over straws, stop it. It's not worth time. It's not worth your effort, because there are more important things to focus on than straws. I digress.
Yes. And remember, if people are giving you shit about the things that you're doing, you're having a straw, you're having a protein shake, you're having a bar, you're putting something in your water, whatever. Whatever Mike does on his daily routine or whatever will have zero effect on my scale or my inches or my journey. So it is not my place to ever tell somebody that they need to do things a certain way, or do not have red meat, or do not have straws, or do not do bars, or have Splenda, or whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, you're going to do what works best in your journey. With that being said, if you are doing a certain trajectory and you are finding yourself not getting the results that you want, and you're finding yourself more stalled more often than usual, then yes, then maybe we can revisit some of these things that you are doing. You might have to revamp it. But until then, if you're not getting a negative reaction from it and you're getting the results that you want, do what makes you happy.
Morbidly. Spell check. It's okay.
I mean, can we just do spell check before you click enter, dude? Not that easy.
Bullying is so much less effective when they can't type.
I know. Right. I feel like you can't take them seriously at that point. If you're gonna make fun of me, if you want to talk here, you want to see? Here we go, honey. This is flabby skin. This is 175 pounds of weight loss in a little flappy arm or whatever. I can fly away. I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah, damn right, Brett. We could.
You know what? And you know what? Here's the thing. I welcome haters. I'm not used to haters. So this is why. So maybe I was on too high of a pedestal for a while because nobody was giving me negative comments or anything. So I'm actually really enjoying this right now. I feel like I'm on the map right now, that I'm getting like a little, trolley troll. Charlie, I would welcome you anytime that you want. If you want to be a guest on the show and you can bring all of your rebuttals, you can bring all of your negative comments. I am all about showing all the different sides of people and having a conversation and getting to the bottom of it. Maybe even having a common ground that we agree on. I don't know.
And you know what? If you're here because you're trying to find out more about the bariatric community, because maybe you're in that place yourself and you're trying to find a way to make yourself feel better and trick yourself to get to that point where you can be motivated to get your life back and take
Mhm.
control over things that are affecting you in your life, guess what? I'm here for you. You can DM me
Mhm.
anytime, reach out to me,
Absolutely.
follow my page. I'll follow you back and I'll get you on track. I'll get you to the right bariatric clinic and part of a community that's going to bring people together.
And you know what, Charlie? If you need someone to talk to and you need to expel the demons of hate from inside your body, I will be your sponge. Come and hit up my DMs or whatever. Get it all out, because if it gets it all out to make you feel better about yourself, to go out and have a good day or whatever, I will take that from you because I've learned how to expel it and get rid of it.
And if you can do DMs in Spanish, I hear that's a good thing.
That's a really good thing. um, So one of the things that we were definitely going to talk about today was something that you had come up with. You were talking about it earlier today, and I want to make sure that we have time to talk about it because I thought that your perspective on it was absolutely amazing. And I don't know, maybe we'll change an opinion or two today. I don't know. Probably not. With some people, they seem pretty dead set in their ways. But for those people who are actively interested and genuinely want a new perspective on bariatric surgery and obesity, give us a little spiel, Mike.
So this is something that comes from like a really like a important place in my life. And we refer to ourselves every single day in majority of our videos as bariatric patients. Do we
Mm-hmm.
not?
Mm-hmm.
We're all bariatric patients. But are we?
I don't
Are
know.
we?
Are we? Are we?
What is a patient? A patient, in my opinion, is someone who needs help, who is broken, who needs some type of treatment or care because they're in a place or a position where they're unhealthy or they're unsatisfied. And I want to flip the script. I want to flip the script because I believe that you are a bariatric patient when you're beginning your journey and you're in the bariatric clinics and you're doing the orientations and the classes and the pre-op diet and you have your surgery. But when you're 6 months out, 8 months out, 2 years out, or in your case 8+ years out from surgery, why are we bariatric patients? We're not sick anymore.
No.
We're not broken anymore. There's nothing wrong with us. We have beaten a battle with a disease because obesity is a disease and it's been confirmed as a disease. We all suffer with obesity as a disease. So I wanted to find a way to flip the script, to change the terminology that's going to immediately and instantaneously change your perspective in a positive manner. From this day forward, if you've had weight loss surgery and you've lost weight and you're off medication and you're no longer being followed by a bariatric clinic or a doctor for this surgery, that means you're not a patient anymore. You are an obesity survivor.
Mm-hmm.
You have survived obesity. And this is so close to me because I think of cancer. My dad had cancer and my mother-in-law had cancer. And when you are being treated for cancer, you are a cancer patient.
Mm-hmm.
The day that you are cancer free and the clinic discharges you and you walk out that door and you have no more contact with them, you are a cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to change their mindset. You are an obesity survivor because you have beaten a disease. You've taken the steps to get past that title.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a patient anymore. You're a survivor. And that's going to, I want everyone right now, if you're watching in the comments, whether you're 20 days out from surgery or 8 years out from surgery, say, I am, whoever your name is, I am an obesity survivor. And I want you to do some self-reflecting on how that makes you genuinely feel as a person. Because the first time I said it out loud, I got emotional because I never thought that I was going to beat obesity. I thought I was going to be dealing with this my entire life, which would have been a hell of a lot shorter than it's going to be now. So yes, hashtag obesity survivor. We're
That's
all
right.
obesity survivors. I really want us to change the terminology. And, you know, if you have a TikTok account or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and you're talking about weight loss or weight loss surgery, drop that hashtag and tag me in it, because I want to see
Mhm.
how far we can get this to spread, because we're not patients anymore. You are a patient until you get to that point, but as soon as that clinic drops you, you're an obesity survivor, and I'm proud of you. And yeah,
I fucking love that so much. I am Sherry, and I'm an obesity survivor.
my name's Mike, and I'm an obesity survivor.
Okay, you know what we need to do? You need to make a video and tag us in it, and we'll all do it. And then you and I can make a compilation of everybody who have done it. And I would love to, like, the next time you come on the show, I would love to like play a compilation of people doing that. I think it would be such a positive, powerful movement and start changing the mindset and how we're looking at this whole thing.
Because I will be posting a video tomorrow on my TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, where I talk about this openly and talk about the change. And once that's posted, um, I'll do that video. And my video is going to just to say, "Hi, my name's Mike, and I'm an obesity survivor." And then yeah, we'll stitch it and we'll do edit and we'll
I
grow it
love
as
it.
far as we can, because I want to look at this platform 2 years from now and have people being like, yeah, honestly, like surviving obesity was the best decision I've made in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I survived a disease that I grew up and was told was not possible to beat.
Right.
It's not. So yeah, that's going to be tomorrow for me. I'm going to be putting together a
I
video
love
with some
that.
of my before, during, and after content, and once that's done, yeah, we need to get that ball rolling for sure.
I'm 100% down. And I absolutely love that because, and I've talked to people even recently. I only really got into the whole tiki talkie back in, I think, November. I did my first live. But up until then, bariatric was not an active part of my vocabulary on a daily basis. Like after 8 years, like I personally wasn't viewing myself as a bariatric patient. Like by now, I'm just Sherry. Like I'm maintaining.
Yep.
I've already have my new lifestyle and stuff. But when you were saying that, like it just resonated, like how true it is. Like if you've had a heart attack and it's 10 years later, you're not a heart attack patient. You're
No.
just whoever you are. If you've had cancer, like you said, once the final chemo is done and you get the clean bill of health, like you're no longer a cancer patient. You are a cancer survivor. So why would obesity be no different than that? Obesity is a disease. And I know it sounds like somebody was very quiet in the chats. I did make the decision to block because I knew that what you were about to say was going to be very powerful and I didn't want any necessary distractions and I didn't want him getting under the skin. I'm already frustrated that I did last 30 minutes though. I'm very
I'm
proud of
proud of you.
myself. I'm very proud of myself. But I think it just, I don't know. I feel like it tied in very perfectly to the very beginning of the show, how we were talking about the negative and positive effects of social media and how it can be on our mental thing. And I was going to block him a long time ago. Maybe personally, I wanted to do a social experiment to see how long I could last with it or how I would deal with it as it came
Yeah.
in. I'm quite proud of with how I dealt with it, I think.
And you know what? I am too. And I genuinely think the information that I just kind of dropped on this community
Mm-hmm.
it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really heavy. And when you think about it, if you're pre-op, like I know my dad's in here somewhere right now. He said he was watching and I saw some comments, and my father is a bariatric patient
Mm-hmm.
because he has taken the decision to change his life and to have this surgery to fight his ass off for a better life, to be there for his kids, his
Mm-hmm.
grandkids, his family, for his wife, for travel, for life experiences. And I I know that he's going to get to the point now where he's going to sit back and we're going to be sitting back and having a coffee on the porch, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I know he's going to say, Mike, I'm Larry, I'm an obesity survivor.
Right.
And I'm really happy that I ruminated on this and reflected on this for like hours last night. You know, wife went to sleep. I'm laying in bed, just eyes wide open, thinking about this, being like, I can't believe that I haven't thought this way before. I can't believe I'm just thinking about this now. But it's kind of cool knowing that I was able to kind of like expose this to everybody. And
Mhm.
you know, I saw Brett drop the mic. You know, it's
I love Brett
just
was
cool.
ready to throw down for you. Like that is love right there.
Brett would fight for me or with me any day, and I know that in a heartbeat. And I am glad I had the opportunity to talk about this because as you got to meet Marcia in the chats
Mhm.
earlier, um, just because you're an obesity survivor doesn't mean that it's not going to be in the back of your head
Mhm.
and affecting you for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
Because I know her daughter Esmeralda, she's going to be 2 years out in November, and you know she still openly struggles with snacking and certain foods
Mhm.
and finding the motivations and finding the support groups. And it was just one of those things that this community of obesity survivors
Mhm.
we're here together and we're here for each other forever,
Right.
and we're here to make sure that nobody falls back into that trap of being called a bariatric patient again when you don't have to be.
I agree. And like, just like if you overcame cancer and you became a cancer survivor, it doesn't mean you're never going to forget where you were. You are going to think about that shit every single day. You are going to be more cautious and more conscientious to make sure that you have follow up appointments, that you're constantly, checking your body, that you're constantly keeping yourself in check. You're going to be watching what you eat. It's a complete lifestyle change. If you have a heart attack and you survived a heart attack, and that is a huge wake up call, it doesn't mean that you just have your pacemaker and go about your day. No, you are going to be thinking about it on a daily fucking basis and making choices every single day. Is this going to put me further towards another
Yep.
heart attack, or is it going to put me further away from a heart attack? And the same is with obesity. Like, just because you have this tool, doesn't mean it's going to fix everything. 8 years out, I still think about this every single day. Not in the same respect as maybe other people right early out, but I am constantly struggling with myself as I have two options. I can make choices today that's going to put me closer to my past, or I can make choices today that's going to put me towards a better tomorrow. And that's something that we're going to have to deal with as on an everyday basis.
For the rest of our lives, but
Mm-hmm.
we get to do it together.
100%.
We have an incredible community and the support system that so many of us actually in the chats right now that are responsible for growing
Mm-hmm.
from something small and hard to find to this incredible community that's welcoming thousands of new people every single day is so rewarding to know that you're not alone ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Your support system exists and will exist forever because even if something happened to TikTok tomorrow or YouTube tomorrow or Instagram tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
you meet so many incredible people that stick with you for life, whether it's through experiences or just a live event or a podcast where you get to meet new people and hear new topics and find new motivations. I'm just so blessed and honored to be part of this community, and I am hoping that as many people join as they can because we need each other and we're here for each other.
I agree 100%. And if anybody who's watching, Kim, Brett, Misty, if somebody can drop Mike's TikTok in the comments so that people who are watching this later, you guys can follow Mike on TikTok. He posts a lot of really amazing content. He's all about mindset and positivity and shifting negatives into positives. He also will share products that work for him, that he enjoys, that he can share with you guys. So, and he's also just like I am. He's an open book. So you can always reach out to him if you have specific questions. If you want Mike to come back on a future episode, which we already know fucking well it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I really like the idea today. I like that it was a different approach. I'm really glad. I feel like everything happens for a reason because I have my first NSV of like having my first troll. Like I was very
right?
excited. I was very excited about that. Is that weird?
Uh, yes, but that's why we love you.
Like, kind of got my rocks hard having a hater. I'm not used to that.
So if you guys look in the chats right now, Misty has dropped at mcoods is my TikTok handle, my Instagram handle, my YouTube handle, pretty much my handle on life.
And
So
everything.
yeah, and everything.
Yeah, so those of you watching or listening at home, you guys can follow him at any time, reach out to him, ask questions, follow his content. If you guys want if somebody wants to be a guest on the show, I really hope we can get Charlie on the show. That would be fucking fantastic. You can reach out to me at info@sherryarcuria.com. The link is in all of the bios. And so, yeah. So again, I seriously can't thank you enough for coming back today. I always love having you here. I was glad that we got to try something kind of like new and different. If none of you guys have been approached with any of these issues or topics in the past that we have talked about, come back and listen to it again in case it does ever come your way and you are faced with these situations. There's a couple options that you can do on how to navigate yourself out of these situations. So Marcia said it's been hard for her to leave junk food, and I do hope she decides to take the right path for. Sometimes, Marcia, you are a product of your environment. So if you can get her part of the community here, you can have her like talking to Mike more. You can have her talking to me. Anybody who's been commenting here, with the exception of Mr. Charlie, I encourage her to reach out at any time and ask questions. And I think that you do become a product of your environment and the people that you surround yourself with. So the more positive people you surround, the more motivated and inspired you are to want to make positive changes.
And Marcia, I sent Esmeralda the link too. So we talked, we're going to set up a video call with the three of us on a private line where we can meet and talk, and I can bring you into the community and, add one more incredible person that's going to do nothing but benefit from the thousands of amazing people that we surround ourselves with.
I absolutely love that. On that note, I hope you guys all have a really amazing week. And we will see you next week. Thank you again.
Of course.